Hare Krishna, this morning, very auspicious morning, Shri Gaura Purnima, appearance of Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that in the Srimad Bhagavatam there are two verses predicting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And one of these verses is on the board here. It is spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj in his prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev, he speaks about Lord Chaitanya. So we'll start reading from the Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naram Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottanam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jamudirayat Nasvesya Bhaktesya Nityam Bhakta Sevya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhakti Bhagavati Itam Nitirya Rishidevaya Savatare Itam Nitirya Rishideva Savatare Lokam Vibhavayasiham Sijagat Pratipam Dharmam Mahapusapasi Yuganuvittam Channa Kalo Yadabhavasti Yugata Sattvam Itam Nitirya Rishidevaya Savatare Lokam Vibhavayasiham Sijagat Pratipam Dharmam Mahapusa Pasiyuganuvittam Channa Kala Yadabhavasti Yogota Sattvam Itam Nitirya Rishidevaya Savatare Lokam Vibhavayasiham Sijagat Pratipam Dharmam Mahapusha Pasiyuganuvittam Channa Kala Yadabhavasti Yogata Sattvam
Itam Nitirya Rishidevaya Savatare
Itam Nitirya Rishidevaya Savatare
Lokam Vibhavayasiham Sijagat Pratipam
Lokam Vibhavayasiham Sijagat Pratipam Dharmam Mahapusha Pasiyuganuvittam Chanakalo Yadavavaste Yogota Sattvam. Itam Nitya Rishidevya Savatare Lokam Vibhavayasi Hamsirat Pratipam Dharmam Mahapurusha Pasyuganuvrittam Chanakalo Yadavavaste Yogota Sattvam. Mataji. Itam Nitya Rishidevya Savatare Lokam Vibhavayasi Hamsidrat Patipam Dharmam Mahapurusha Pasyuganuvrittam Chanakalo Yadavavaste Yogata Sattvam. Word translation. Itam, in this way, like a human being, such as Lord Krishna and Lord Ramchandra. Tiryak, like animals, such as the boar. Rishi, as a great saint. Parasuram, Deva, as demigods. Yasa, as an aquatic, such as the fish and tortoise. Avatarai, by such different incarnations. Loka, all the different planetary systems. Vibhavayasi, you protect. Hamsi, you sometimes kill. Jagat Pratipam, persons who have simply created trouble in this world. Dharmam, the principles of religion. Mahapurusha, oh great personality. Pasi, you protect. Yoga Anuvrittam, according to the different millenniums. Chana, covered. Kala, in age of Kali. Yat, since. Abhava, have been, and will be in the future. Triyuga, named Triyuga. Atta, therefore, Saha, the same personality. Tvam, you. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. In this way, my Lord, you appear in various incarnations as a human being, an animal, a great saint, a demigod, a fish, or a tortoise, thus maintaining the entire creation in different planetary systems and killing the demoniac principles. According to the age, O my Lord, you protect the principles of religion. In the age of Kali, however, you do not assert yourself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore you are known as Triyuga, or the Lord who appears in 3 yugas. Commentary by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. As the Lord appeared just to maintain Lord Brahma from the attack of Madhu and Kaitava, he also appeared to protect the great devotee Prahlad Maharaj. Similarly, Lord Chaitanya appeared in order to protect the fallen souls of Kali Yuga. There are 4 yugas or millenniums: Satya, Treta, Dvapara, and Kali. In all the yugas, but Kali Yuga, the Lord appears in various incarnations and asserts himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But although Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appears in Kali Yuga, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he never asserted himself as such. On the contrary, whenever Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was addressed as being as good as Krishna, he blocked his ears with his hands, denying his identity with Krishna, because he was playing the part of a devotee. Lord Chaitanya knew that in Kali Yuga there would be many bogus incarnations pretending to be God. And therefore, he avoided asserting himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Mahaprabhu is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, in many Vedic literature, especially in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.32, Krishna Varnam Tvisa Krishnam Sangopargastra Parshadam Chakne Sankirtana Prayer Yanti Sumedasam. In Kali Yuga, intelligent man worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is always accompanied by his associates such as Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhar, and Srivas. The entire Krishna consciousness movement is based on the principles of the Sankirtan movement, inaugurated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, one who tries to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of the Sankirtan movement knows everything perfectly. He is Sumedas, a person with substantial intelligence. So, Om Jnana Timandasya Chinam Sana Shanakaya Shakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shiyuda Padakamalam Shigom Vaishnavansa Shilpam Jagajatam Saganaragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savarutam Panchana Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saganadita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sa Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dino Bandhu Jatpate Gopesha Gopka Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kansana Gauri Radhe Vrindavanashre Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranama Devi Vancha Kalpta Visha Kripa Sindhu Visha Patana Vaishnavyo Namo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Vaskatya Dasatane Srila Prabhupada Ki Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And as Krishna, the original Krishna from Vrindavan, he appears at scheduled times that are very precise times. It is mentioned in the scriptures that Lord Krishna appears once in a day of Brahma. A day of Brahma consists of 1,000 Divya Yugas. One Yuga is a cycle of Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, then Dvapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. 1,000 such cycles. And so these 1,000 cycles, they are in that one day, in these 1,000 cycles, appear 14 Manus. And the Manus, they appear together with a set of demigods and sages and so on. They all change with the Manu, 14. And we are now in the 7th Manu, Vaishvata Manu, 7th. And so there are 14 who are appearing in 1,000 cycles. More or less, every Manu has 71 cycles of Divya Yugas. 71. And it is predicted that Krishna will appear in the 7th Manu, in the 28th cycle, and specifically at the end of Dvapara Yuga. Then Krishna appears. And Krishna, as 5,000 years ago, has spoken Bhagavad Gita. But in Bhagavad Gita, the conclusion is surrender unto me. But we see after the disappearance of Krishna, many has misunderstood what it means, surrender unto me. And also in this Kali Yuga, that's a problem. No one wants to surrender to anyone. So Krishna, he gave a condition, you surrender unto me. But then, yes, he saw they have misunderstood. They will not surrender. So Kali Yuga was coming, and therefore Krishna decided to come again. But this time without any conditions. This I will try to understand, to explain that in a different way. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was one of the great commentators, the 17th century. It is said he was in the mood of Srila Rupa Goswami. And he wrote about many pastimes of Krishna. And there is one pastime which is very special, and it's a pastime of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. And there, the identity of Lord Chaitanya is revealed. So, in Vrindavan, there is a place, Nidudvan. Someone has been there? Nidudvan? Yeah? Okay. Nidudvan. Nidu means sleeping. Van means forest. The forest of sleeping. The forest or garden of sleeping. So, because after the rasa dance, Radha and Krishna were dancing the whole night. And then they wanted to take some rest before going back to Vrindavan, to their home. So after a long night of dancing, Radha and Krishna wanted to rest before they returned home. So after having rested, they were sitting there, and Radharani said, when I was sleeping, she said to Krishna, an amazing thing happened to me. And Krishna asked, tell me what happened. And Srimati Radharani said, I had a dream, an amazing dream. In this dream, there was a place which looked like Vrindavan, and there was also a river that looked like the Yamuna. But it was a little different. And the place was also a little different. Similar, but a little different, Radharani said. And the place was also similar, but a little different. And there were many devotees. They looked like the devotees in Vrindavan. They were singing Hare Krishna Kirtan. It was a joyful kirtan, but still a little different, she said. But the main thing is that among all these devotees, there was one special devotee. He was a Brahman, wearing a Brahman thread. He was very tall, it is said 5 feet tall. It's big. If you see the deities of Lord Chaitanya in Mayapur, it's 8 feet tall, 2.4 meters. And she said, Radharani said, this Brahman had an amazing golden color, just like me. It was very effulgent. It was molten gold. So Radharani has the color of molten gold. But he was of the same color as me. He was taking part in the kirtan, and his mood was also just like me, Radharani said. He was chanting in deep absorption, deep rapture, very heartfelt, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Maybe he's me, because he had the same emotions towards you. I've never seen anyone with such emotions. And she's asking Krishna, is he me? And then suddenly, this great personality starts chanting, Radhe, 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 with deep feeling. And Radharani said, it's the same way you chant. And there I thought, maybe he's you. And then he chanted, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. When Krishna heard about his dream, Krishna laughed and said to Srimati Radharani, look into my Shamantaka jewel. Krishna is always this beautiful big gem, the Shamantaka jewel. And Krishna held the jewel in front of Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani saw the same scene, exactly the same scene, the same place, the same river, the same devotees, the same kirtan, and the same big tall, handsome, colored Brahman, golden colored Brahman devotee. And Radharani was just astonished. So Radharani said to Krishna, "You never told me about this. You told me about many forms of yourself, like Narayan, Nrsimha, Vaman. But this seems to be a form of you, but you never told me about it." And Krishna said, "Yes, this form is me. It's a very secret form. Actually, it's a combined form," Krishna said to Radharani. "It's a combined form of you and me. And we are going to appear together. Because here in Vrindavan, we always try to meet, but your mother Kotila, she interferes and it's a battle, it's a struggle to meet. But when we will appear in the same form, in this form, we will always be together, 24 hours a day. So this form of you and me is a most amazing form. An experience that you and me will have in this combined form will be unlike the experience we had otherwise, even here in Vrindavan. This combined form of you and me is Lord Gauranga. Gauranga! This happened 5,000 years ago in Shivinavan. But I have another story about 5,000 years ago, and that's told by my spiritual master, Bhakti Charamaj, and I want also to share that with you. He said, Krishna performs his pastimes and devotees and becomes so joyful. And seeing his devotees joyful, Krishna also becomes joyful. So in order to give them enjoyment, Krishna performs his pastimes and makes his devotees joyful. Krishna enjoys himself. That is the loving exchange. That is Vrindavan, the place of love. And in Navadvip, the same Krishna as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is distributing that Krishna prema. In Vrindavan, Krishna is experiencing Krishna prema, and in Navadvip, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is distributing Krishna prema. Therefore, we say, Namama Vadanyaya Krishna prema Padayate. Padayate means distributing. He is distributing that Krishna prema. So, and then my spiritual master, he told us a beautiful anecdote. He said it's a colloquial anecdote, so it's not coming from the scriptures. It's something which the Vrajavasis tell among themselves. But it's confirmed by the scriptures. So, Vrindavan, one day Radharani went to Nandagram, the house of Nanda Maharaj. We know that Srimad Radharani had got his blessing of Durvasa Muni. Whatever she would cook would taste as nectar. And therefore, Mother Yasoda was inviting Radharani to come to cook for Krishna. So she went to the house of Nanda Maharaj and she did her service and she was very happy to see everything. But at the end, she was about to leave. And Nanda Maharaj was asking Radharani, so Lali, how did you like your stay in Braj? She replied, oh, everything was fine. But there was one thing that made me feel a little unhappy, she said. And Nanda Maharaj replied, oh, in Braj you felt unhappy? What happened? What is that? Nanda Maharaj asked. And Radharani said, you see, Krishna was distributing his prasad to everybody, and only those who had pots got the prasad. So in Hindi or in the Braj language, in Sanskrit also, a pot is called a patra. So those who had pots could get Krishna's mercy. And those who did not, they had to leave and somehow get some pot in order to get the mercy. Nanda Maharaj said, why this consideration? Why is Krishna not giving his mercy to everyone? So Nanda Maharaj called Krishna and said to Krishna, Radhika is dissatisfied. Krishna said, why? What happened? And Nanda Maharaj said, that you are giving your mercy only to those who had the patra, the pot. Actually, the meaning is patrata. Patrata means qualification, those who are qualified. So Krishna is giving his mercy to those who are qualified. To those who are not qualified, Krishna is not giving his mercy. Therefore Krishna said, okay, it's fine. In my next pastime in Navadvip, Krishna said, I will give my mercy to anyone and everyone without any consideration of qualification. So that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That Krishna is distributing his mercy without any consideration of one's qualification. So Srila Narottam Das Thakur, he sings, Yogata vichare kichu nai pai tomara karuna sara. He says, when I examine my worthiness, I find nothing deserving your mercy. But Lord Chaitanya offers his mercy without any consideration of deserving it. Nama ma varanya Krishna prema padayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya nama Gaura Nama. I eternally offer my obeisances unto you, Sri Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, the supreme, magnificent, and charitable one, the giver of Krishna prema. So Narottam Das Thakur says that as far as my qualification is concerned, I don't have anything. I don't have any qualification whatsoever. All I'm relying on, all I'm depending on is your mercy. So that is the mood of a devotee. And in this incarnation, in this appearance, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna is a very, very merciful. So now I will read, because I will read from Chaitanya Charitamrita that in the Adi Lila, chapter 1 of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the first 6 verses, that there Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami gives us the essence of the essence of all tattva with regards of all truth, with regards to the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I will read just these translations and then we will hear after that the pastime from Chaitanya Charitamrita from his factual appearance. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj prays, I offer my respectful obeisance to the spiritual masters, the devotees of the Lord's incarnation, his plenary portions, his energies, and the primeval Lord himself, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I offer my respectful obeisance unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda, who are like the sun and moon. They have arisen simultaneously on the horizon of Gaura to dissipate the darkness of ignorance and thus wonderfully bestow all benediction upon us. What the Upanishads describe as the impersonal Brahman is but the effulgence of his body, and the Lord, known as the Super Soul, is but his localized plenary portion. Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, full with 6 opulences. He is the absolute truth, and no other truth greater or equal to him. Made the Supreme Lord known as the son of Srimati Satchi Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost chambers of your heart. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he has appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most sublime and radiant mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, previously they separated themselves. Now these 2 transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to him, who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although is Krishna himself. Desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love, the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love, the Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from the womb of Srimati Satchi Devi, as the moon appeared from the ocean. So, practically on any of these last verses that I read, that the Krishnadas Kaviraj will expand it in an entire chapter in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this is gives the reasons for the appearance of Lord Chaitanya, and they are explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita in detail. That external reasons, internal reasons, but important for us is that we understand first the identity of Lord Chaitanya. And then why did he appear? What did he give us for this special Lord Chaitanya? So this is, we know Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says you surrender. I said, don't worry, I will take care of your past sinful activities. But Krishna says surrender. There are so many instructions in Bhagavad Gita. But how to develop a relationship with him, it's not explained in Bhagavad Gita. That's explained in the Srimad Bhagavata. But Lord Krishna decided at the end of Dvapara Yuga, I will come again in Kali Yuga. So I said in the beginning, Krishna appears at specific times. So at the 28th Divya Yuga of the 7th Manu, at the end of Dvapara Yuga, he appears as Lord Chaitanya. And then after that, in the next Kali Yuga, Krishna appears again in his original form. Because Lord Chaitanya is the same original Krishna. Lord Chaitanya is not an incarnation. It is Krishna himself who appears. But to teach us how to develop a relationship with Krishna, how to perform bhakti, especially in this Kali Yuga. And therefore, Lord Chaitanya appeared as, it said as Krishna Varnam. One always repeats the names of Krishna. So it comes to bring us his holy name as the main process for making spiritual advancement. But it does not only come to give us that process, it gives us something what has not been available before. And that's explained in the 4th verse. And that is Krishna Prema, especially in the rasa of conjugal love, the most intense love for Krishna. Because the thing is that the external reasons lead us to understand why Lord Chaitanya appeared and distributed this love of Krishna. That why is the most magnanimous incarnation? Because Krishna was thinking, oh, Radharani, she feels so much ecstasy and love, and love for me. That he was thinking, what is it in me that attracts her? And she is seemingly more enjoying than me. I want to experience that, but I want to experience what she feels. And therefore Krishna decided to appear with the mood of Srimati Radharani. Because this is an important aspect to understand, that who is Lord Chaitanya? Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanka. It's Radha and Krishna together. God and his energies together. Is that in Vrindavan they are separated. But as in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu they are together. But everything in the spiritual world is eternal. Therefore, I hear still my Gaura saying that in Goloka Vrindavan there are 2 chambers. There is, at one side, there is Vrindavan, and the other side is Navadvip. And both are eternal, because these are eternal forms. and they exist parallel in Goloka Vrindavan. So at one side, we have Radha and Krishna separated. Krishna and his energies. And they are together in Navadvip. So these are eternal forms. But when Krishna was in Vrindavan and told Srimati Radharani, I will appear in your mood. That's the story that we heard in the beginning. I will appear in your mood. And Srimati Radharani said, oh, you will appear in my mood? You will play my role? Srimati Radharani said. I want to see how you are doing that. And therefore, Lord Chaitanya, Srimati Radharani appeared in Lord Chaitanya's pastime is Gadadhar. But Gadadhar feels empty because it's like Radharani feeling empty because Krishna is taken her mood. But by that she could see how Krishna played a role. But at the same time, that Srimati Radharani is the most merciful devotee. More advanced, but also the most merciful. It is said that Srimati Radharani sees that the devotee is sincerely serving Krishna, then she says to Krishna, please give your mercy to that devotee, because the devotee is serving you better than me. So that's the mercy of Srimati Radharani. And that mercy is freely available in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And therefore, when Lord Chaitanya appeared 5,000 years ago, he gave freely this Krishna prema to everyone who desired it. That even the impersonalist could not escape. That the followers of Prakashananda Sarasvati in Benares, they're all impersonalists, Mayavadis, and Lord Chaitanya converted them all in pure Vaishnavas. That's something impossible. But he did. That Lord Chaitanya had so many wonderful pastimes, he is the most magnificent incarnation. Now I will read from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Let's see if I can get it on the screen here. Yes. Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is Adi Lila, chapter 3, I think. Just a moment to see where it is. Yeah, it's Adi Lila, chapter 13. Chapter 13. Text 80. Jaya Jaya Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shauda Satta Chaya Sakhe Se Samakama Se Jagannatha Chachya Deya Krishna Praveshe. In the month of January, in the year 1406 of the Saka era, this is the year 1485, Lord Krishna entered the bodies of both Jagannath Mishra and Sachi. So purport. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his birth in the year 1407 Saka era, 1486, in the month of Falgun. But here we see that he entered the bodies of his parents in the year 1406, in the month of Magha. Therefore, the Lord entered the bodies of his parents 13 full months before his birth, a pregnancy of 13 months. Generally, a common child remains within the womb of his mother for 10 lunar months, but here we see that the Lord remained within the body of his mother for 13 months. 81. Mishrakai Sachistani Deka Anarita Jyotirmaya Deya Geyam Lakshmi Adistita. Jagannath Mishra said to Sachi Mata, I see wonderful things. Your body is effulgent, and it appears as if the goddess of fortune were now staying personally in my home. 32. Yantai sarvaloka kare samana kare pataya teya dana vastradana. Anywhere and everywhere I go, all people offer me respect. Even without my asking, they voluntarily give me riches, clothing, and pati. Satchikai muni dekon akasab upare divyamukti loka sabayena stutikare. Sachimati told her husband, I see wonderful, brilliant human beings appearing in outer space as if offering prayers. So they saw demigods and so on offering prayers. And Jagannath Mishra then replied, in a dream I saw the effulgent abode of the Lord enter my heart. From my heart it entered your heart. I therefore understand that the great personality will soon take birth. After this conversation, both husband and wife were very jubilant, and together they rendered service to the household Salagram Shila. Long purport, Prabhupada. In this way, the pregnancy approached its 13th month. Still, there was no sign of the delivery of the child. Thus, Jagannath Mishra became greatly apprehensive. Nilambar Chakravarti, the grandfather of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then did an astrological calculation and said that in that very month, taking advantage of an auspicious moment, the child will take birth. Thus, in the year 1407 of the Saka era, 1486, in the month of Falgun, February, March, in the evening, of the full moon day, the desired auspicious moment arrived. So that's today. According to the Jyotir Veda or Vedic astrology, the auspicious birth moment is described as follows. The moon was in Leo, the figure of the line in the zodiac. Leo was the ascendant. Several planets were strongly positioned, and the Sattvarga and Ashtavarga showed all auspicious influence. When the spotless moon of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became visible, what would be the need for a moon full of black marks on its body. So that's interesting. Considering this, Rahu, the black planet, covered the full moon, and immediately vibrations of Krishna, Krishna, Hari inundated the three worlds. So the Rahu wanted to swallow the moon. There was an eclipse like today. The eclipse is going on now, but it's not visible here. The moon is still at the other side. But in India, it's visible and the influence is more stronger there. Yeah. But it's a unique moment. It happens rarely. All the people thus chanted the Hare Krishna mantra during the lunar eclipse, and their minds were struck with wonder. When the whole world was thus chanting the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, in the form of Gaura Hari, advented himself on the earth. The whole world was pleased, while the Hindus chanted the holy name of the Lord. The non-Hindus, especially the Muslims, jokingly imitated the words they were also chanting. While all the ladies vibrated the holy name of Hari on earth, in the heavenly planets dancing and music were going on, for the demigods were very curious. In this atmosphere, all the 10 directions became jubilant and did the waves of the rivers. Moreover, all beings, moving and non-moving, were overwhelmed with transcendental bliss. Thus, by his causeless mercy, the full moon Gaura Hari rose in the district of Nadia, which is compared to Udayagiri, where the sun first becomes visible. Its rising in the sky dissipated the darkness of sinful life, and thus the three worlds became joyful and chanted the holy name of the Lord. At this time, Sri Advaitacharya Prabhu, in his own house in Santipur, was dancing in a pleasing mood, taking Haridas Thakur with him. He danced and loudly chanted Hare Krishna. But when they were dancing, why they were dancing, no one could understand. Seeing the lunar eclipse and laughing, Advaitacharya and Haridas Thakur immediately went to the bank of the Ganges and bathed in the river in great jubilation. Taking advantage of the occasion of the lunar eclipse, Advaitacharya, by his mental strength, distributed various types of charity to the Brahmins. When he saw that the whole world was jubilant, Haridas Thakur, his mind astonished, directly and indirectly expressed himself to Advaitacharya. Your dancing and distributing charity are very pleasing to me. I can understand there is some special purpose in these actions. Acharya Ratna, Chandrasekhar, and Shiva Thakur were overwhelmed with joy, and immediately they went to the bank of the Ganges to bathe in our waters. Their minds full of happiness, they chanted the Hare Krishna mantra and gave charity by mental strength. In this way, all the devotees, wherever they were situated, in every city and every country, danced, performed Sankirtan, and gave charity by mental strength on the plea of the lunar eclipse, their mind overwhelmed with joy. All sorts of respectable Brahmin gentlemen and ladies carrying plates filled with various gifts came with their presentation. Seeing the newborn child, whose form resembled natural glaring gold, all of them offered their blessings. Dressed themselves as the wives of the Brahmins, all the celestial ladies, including the wives of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva and Lord Nrsimhadev, King Indra and Vashishta Rishi, along with Ramba, a dancing girl of heaven, came with varieties of gifts. In outer space, all the demigods, including the inhabitants of Gandharva Loka, Siddha Loka, Charana Loka, offered their prayers and danced to the accompaniment of music, songs, and the beating of drums. Similarly, in Navadvip city, all the professional dancers, musicians, and blessers gathered together, dancing in great jubilation. No one could understand who was coming and who was going, who was dancing, who was singing, nor could they understand any other's language. Yet all unhappiness and lamentation were immediately dissipated, and people all became all jubilant. Thus, Jagannath Mishra was also overwhelmed with joy. Chandrasekhar Acharya, Srivas Thakur, both came to Jagannath Mishra and drew his attention in various ways. They performed ritualistic ceremonies prescribed at the time of birth according to religious principles. Jagannath Mishra also gave varieties of charity. Whatever riches Jagannath Mishra collected in the form of gifts and presentations, and whatever he had in his house, he distributed among the Brahmins, among singers, dancers, bhattas, and the poor. He honored them all by giving them riches in charity. The wife of Srivas Thakur, whose name was Malini, accompanied by the wife of Chandrasekhar and other ladies, came there in great happiness to worship the baby with paraphernalia such as vermilion, turmeric, oil, fused rice, bananas, and coconuts. One day shortly after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, Advaita Acharya's wife Sita Deva, who is most worshipable by the whole world, took her husband's permission and went to see that topmost child with all gifts and presentations. She brought different kinds of golden ornaments, including armlets, necklaces, anklets, and bangles for the hands. There were also tiger nails set in gold, waist decorations of silk and lace, ornaments for the hands and legs, nicely printed silken saris, and a child's garment, also made of silk. Many other riches, including gold and silver coins, were also presented to the child. So this is the appearance of Lord Chaitanya, that he was born under a Nimai tree. Therefore, he got also the name Nimai. They called him also Vishvambar. As a baby, he was crying a lot. He was always crying. And then one of the mothers came in and said, like someone would say, "My God, he's crying again." She said, "Hari, he's crying." And from the moment she said Hari, he stopped crying. So the mothers found quickly out that when he's crying, you say Hari, he stops. So he made everyone chanting the holy name, even as a baby. But Lord Chaitanya's pastimes are described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that the first, in his youth, there are many pastimes in his first years that are amazing pastimes. And then later he became Nimai Pandit, the so-called grammar scholars. And he was not manifesting himself yet as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or as a great devotee. That he became expert in Sanskrit grammar. He was teaching Sanskrit grammar. And he was debating with all the big scholars in Navadvip and was defeating them. And Mukunda, one of the devotees, said to Nimai, you should become a devotee of Krishna. And Nimai said to Mukunda, yes, I will become a devotee of Krishna. A devotee you have never seen, such a great devotee. That and Mukunda said, this boy is, but what can we do with this boy? He's so arrogant. That, but anyway, then at a certain moment, he went to Gaya and he met Ishvarapuri, his spiritual master. And that's the beginning of his manifestation of the Sankirtan movement. And then Lord Chaitanya, he received the Hare Krishna mantra and started to chant that. But then he went back to his spiritual master. He said, I'm chanting this holy name, but when I chant it, I'm becoming completely mad of love, ecstasy. And Ishvarapuri told him, yes, you have attained the perfection of life. Congratulations. But then when he came back in Navadvip, then they wanted him to continue his professional teacher, but he could not teach anymore. He could only speak of Krishna. And they started to have nocturnal or nightly kirtans. Every night they had kirtans in the house of Srivas in Navadvip. Srivas Angam. That was the beginning of the birth of the Sankirtan movement. And there's so many pastimes. The pastimes of Lord Chaitanya are described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, but also that this is the most complete biography of Lord Chaitanya. It's the last one, written by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj, who was a disciple of Nityananda, who is Balaram in Krishna's, in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. So yes, also the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya are described in Chaitanya Bhagavat. That was by Vrindavan Das Thakur. There are other biographies, Chaitanya Mangal by Lochan Das Thakur. Chaitanya Mangal, it's described that Lord Chaitanya said that in the future I will send my Senapati Bhaktam, my expert general, to spread the holy name and the teachings of Lord Chaitanya all over the world, in every town and village. And this has been realized by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And he spread the mercy of Lord Chaitanya all over the world. So Lord Chaitanya is the most merciful incarnation. Srila Prabhupada is even more merciful because without his mercy, we would not have the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Sri Gaura Purnima ki. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So. Yeah. Okay. We
I
got that.
don't wonder about it. Also, the other is Jagannath. And Jagannath is